Hello, welcome to Access. My name's Nathan and I'm here with Dave.
Hello.
Dave, we're talking about FIFA.
Yes.
And specifically, I've been to see and indeed play FIFA 16.
Yes,
and it's fixed some things.
Oh, really?
It's Fixer 16.
Oh, hey, nice. How long have you been planning that?
FIFA 16. It just came into my head. Would you believe it? I'm going to get on with saying some stuff that's in FIFA. So what we're actually watching here is FIFA 15.
Okay.
There is very little of FIFA 16 about. We're obviously going to be changing as it's quite a long way. They let us play it quite a long way before it's released.
Yes.
So we're going to illustrate the things that are going to be fixed using the footage of the game. And that's basically what they do. When you go and see FIFA 16, they say, look, these are all the things that we didn't quite have time or that we learned over the year were bothering people.
Yeah.
And now we're going to fix them. And they are. The good news is everybody out there who likes FIFA, they are basically everything that you complain about and that I complain about when I play FIFA.
They do listen.
Yeah, they do, yeah. So number one, defending.
Okay.
I think they were talking about it was like a long like Jedi session. They were talking about balance, bringing balance to the FIFA. And basically they thought that last year the game was far too skewed towards players with pace, which I think everyone who's played online will know.
Yes.
You get past a certain division. Who are you playing against every game, Dave? Real Madrid every time, yeah. With set up with incredible like Ronaldo and Bale and just and so basically in order to balance that out a little bit. They don't want to like just kill pace, but the idea is that people can play a variety of different ways. And defending was seen. I think a lot of people were frustrated last year with defenders. Like you'd miss a first challenge or you'd get stepped, and that was it. You're out of the game against pace. So a couple of things they brought in this year are they've given a new animation which is like a spinning step. So if you just miss a tackle, and they were showing kind of real life examples of kind of the midfielders essentially doing it. You just miss a tackle, instead of your momentum being completely killed by the fact you've taken a small step forward. Yeah, real people are able to kind of swing their momentum round and then carry on chasing. Yeah. So basically it means that the gap between you and the attacker who's just got away from you is going to be smaller, and then you might get another chance to put pressure on them. Yeah. And that was like, oh, that's such a relief.
Definitely.
They've also tinkered with this is getting slightly more complicated when they make the engine is so complicated. I've been covering FIFA for a long time and like talking to them about how do you make a computer play football, and it's really hard
in layman's terms.
Yeah, keep it simple, guys. And one of the things they talk about is acceleration curves, which is and speed curves, which is how quickly players in the game can go from a standing start, and the momentum engine and things like that have altered that over the last few years. And basically one of the things they've done is they've altered the acceleration curves so that defenders can, once they have been stepped, they can get back at the defender a little at the attacker a little bit quicker, which is good. Yes. And there's also just a more general kind of AI thing. One of my huge frustrations in the game is when I have been stepped in the midfield or when I've been done by a bit of skill, and then like there's a player running through the middle and the fullbacks don't close in. Like you see Aspilicueta just we've been playing like online co-op recently. You see Dave is just like going down the line like crab walking, and you're like just, oh my god, just cover the space.
Look alive, man. Look alive.
And that is so. One of the things that they've done is that they've greatly increased. AI players will now be much more likely to leave whoever they're marking to step into dangerous space. Right. Not to the. I mean, I played quite a lot of the game, and it's not to the detriment of. It doesn't make it all feel soupy and really hard to get through. It's still possible with the right pass. Yeah. But yeah, it's just you don't have that frustration of just like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like as soon as you switch to that play, you start sprinting, and it's like, why was he asleep? Yeah. So that's number one. Bit of defending. Number two, goalies. Okay. I think everyone knows. I mean, this is one of the huge bugbears of the online community of FIFA, is that the goalies, they're not rubbish. They were completely remade last year, and then they were patched because I think EA already knew that they were an area which needed work. There are still some of the things that they talk about trying to make them more human, which is terrifying. Right. But what they really want is those dip shots that sometimes people run into the midfield with a good player, someone like Ronaldo again or Bale, and you just crack it a really powerful shot, and the dipping action on the shot means that the defender can be lobbed ridiculously with like quite some regularity. Yeah. So there are now new animations for both running back towards goal a bit quicker while looking over the shoulder, and also for tipping things over the bar. Right. Oh, good. So those things have been, we've been done a few times.
Yeah. I had someone who on every kickoff the other day was just immediately trying to do that. Just kick off, try and do that.
I think the thing is, the old, I mean, it's not quite as bad as I think the FIFA 14. It was, the kickoff glitch, which is where you pass it back and then you bomb it up to your attacker. It's not quite. We'll get onto kind of the midfield in a second. It's not quite, but I think the tendency for people to score straight away after they've conceded from the kickoff is a function of the keepers. And also the fact that pace was and that tackling was so hard last year. And that brings me neatly onto tackling.
Okay.
Tackling is back, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like in a big way. Like one of the things I really miss from old school FIFA, and it's still quite big in PES, is like slide tackling.
Yeah.
Like slightly more manual slide tackling.
Yeah.
So often I will press circle and when I get I'll press it slightly too late and I'll just hoof it when I get the ball.
Yeah.
Or instead of, basically if I press, I'm talking about alternate controls, obviously. If I press circle, I want my player to go to ground. I'm in control of that player. I know what slide tackle
I know
means.
what I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
Okay, down you go.
And instead of that kind of lunge they do sometimes. So that's all gone.
Right.
Slide tackles now are back. Block slide tackles are back. They kind of recognise that people sometimes want to anticipate a pass or a shot.
I love doing that. It's one of my favourite things to do.
And I love when you do it in the area and the ball will flip over the bar.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, I'm glad that's not my thighs.
Yeah. The stinging.
Yeah. X to rub thigh. But no, actually what X is for is one of the things you can do is, because if you mistime a slide tackle, you can be significantly out of the game. And again, something that almost every FIFA player will have said at some point is, it doesn't take that long to get up from a slide tackle.
Yeah.
And now if you tap X while you're in your slide, you'll use your momentum to get back to your feet and then you can chase back.
Oh, that's exciting. I really like that.
I was doing it just because it was fun.
Yeah.
I
always assumed that it was their pride that was hurt. And so it's like, I'm sad I've missed this. I'll stay down here. You guys play on.
You carry on without me. And the other thing is, something which... does this sound familiar, FIFA player? A cross-field ball online against a human opponent. Chip through ball or maybe just a circle pass out to the wings over your fullback. Your fullback is there. The winger takes the ball down about knee height. The ball is bouncing, and your defender simply has no idea what to do.
Yeah,
and the other man goes through, and that's because there were no animations for aerial tackles for defenders. Right. So now there are stand-up challenges, you're not diving in at knee height, but there are new animations for trying to win the ball, for challenging the ball as a defender at that kind of height, kind of waist knee height.
Yeah,
and that makes a big difference.
That's exciting because we do forget that the small players in FIFA aren't actually real humans, and that I'm going just put your leg. He's like, no one's told me how to do that. I don't know. Someone needs to tell me how I can put my leg up in this.
It's the weird thing of being there and them saying, yes, we've given them new animations. And it's it's so weird to think, they're not fully modelled just little people. They can only do what they've been told. That brings me on to, it doesn't really, but to no touch dribbling.
Okay.
Which is interesting. I like this. So it only works if you've got a bit of momentum on the ball. So if you're dribbling down the line, say, you can press, I think it's L1. Press L1.
Right.
And you will the ball carry on, and you'll be slightly detached from it.
Okay.
So you still have possession of the ball, and the computer will understand that. But you'll be able to then, with the right stick, to feint one way or the other. You can open up your hips, look like you're going one way, and then actually, and it's something which good players like Messi will do.
Yes.
Some players, I'm trying to think what a really good example is, like on YouTube. Not Zidane. Ronaldinho and Messi. I just didn't want to say Messi all the time.
Yeah.
But they will run all around the ball, make the defender look completely stupid.
Yeah.
And then take the ball one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it's because it's new, but it really works. Like, I actually use L1 quite a lot, and I only realised when I played FIFA 16, I use it quite a lot to trap the ball and then make a decision, because I normally pass rather than try and take players on.
Yeah.
And so I was accidentally activating this no-touch dribble.
Yeah. And
then in trying to move it one way or the other, moving my hips and really messing people up. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So that's going to be, they talk about it like a clutch. Like, you're still there, you're still moving, but you're disengaging the engine.
Right.
And then you can put it back on when you want. It's really interesting.
It sounds exciting.
It's going to be, it was the kind of thing that which I really liked, feints and dummies. And that does, that is one of the things which they're bringing in. So they've upped, it's all about, talk about balance.
Yeah.
They've made defending more, as a unit, tighter, and they've given individual one-on-ones more confidence to the defender by giving them new animations and harder tackling.
Yeah.
So that feint is a way to kind of give you more offensive options.
Yeah.
And another thing which is giving you kind of more offensive options is, another area where this kind of balance is playing out is in the midfield. And they spoke about how the midfield was sort of a neglected part of 15, not intentionally, but it was too easy to, as I saw those kind of as I was talking about those diagonal balls.
Yeah.
You could play basically from the centre back up to your wingers. Skip the entire midfield, so they kind of wanted to bring that back a little bit. So they talk about something called, which is going to be, one of the things they put on the back of the box, interception intelligence.
Okay.
Which basically means that midfielders, and again, this is we sometimes fall into doing hook.
Yes.
Like a player will just watch a ball go by them, and you'll be like, "Come on, you were there."
Yeah.
the ball was there. You were there. And so interception intelligence will give. There's going to be a higher instance of AI players in just cutting the ball out in a logical, realistic, as possible way. But then equally, because of that, if you press, there's a modifier now. So if you press R1 before you do a pass, instead of, because I always used to hold X to do like a harder pass.
Yeah.
But really that's for skipping players and telling the computer which player.
Right.
So now if you press R1 and pass, and also sometimes I'd want to do a hard pass, and if you charge it up, it takes longer.
Yes.
And an unrealistic amount of, because when you do a hard pass in real football, you're not like.
Oh, speak for yourself, mate. I have to slowly raise my leg behind me.
A little winch on your hip.
The higher my foot goes, the harder my pass is.
So yeah, you press R1 and it's like a ping. I think they've called it passing with purpose.
Right.
But everyone in the world is going to call it a pinged pass or a hard pass.
Yeah.
And it's slightly harder to control and it's more demanding in the timing and stuff. But it does mean you can thread the ball through tighter gaps to get around that kind of interception. So again, balance.
Yes.
It's all about the balance of the force. And that brings us on to number 7, actually, in 7 things that have been fixed in FIFA. I don't think this one was in crazy need of fixing, but at the same time, I like it. It's shooting.
Right.
Okay, shooting was alright last year. They've basically done, to make it just feel fresh, there's new animations. They've kind of done some modelling around the precise way in which players' feet strike the ball.
Okay.
And that's been for a long time since they kind of rebuilt FIFA for PlayStation 3, and it became arguably, definitely better than PES, and has since gone on to great success. One of the ways they did it was by making the ball as an independent object, and players, if you tried to kick the ball off balance, instead of a scripted animation, it would show you hey, you're off balance and you sliced it.
Yeah. And
this is kind of just adding to that. Just again trying to give you more of a sense of it, rewarding you for creating the space and having the time and timing the press of the button for the shot.
Yeah.
And you get a little I don't know if it will be in the final game, but when we were playing, if you get it just right, as the Danish man who scored 4 goals against me from Danish Eurogamer did,
right.
Because I didn't do this.
That's annoying.
The pad vibrates slightly, so you get I really smashed
smashed that.
And I guess it's supposed to emulate the feeling of when you catch a ball just right and you kind of fly.
When you know as a player that you've struck that,
you hit it true. Yeah. True is the way.
I've never had that feeling.
And there's new volley animations as well. And one of the other things they're talking about when they're talking about shooting is they've improved the head tracking. So when players they've made it just more realistic, because they said that previously they took, this is just interesting, I thought this was a good fact. Previously when they've taken the animation from when a player sort of, maybe the ball's coming across him and he's going to try and volley at a goal, that will all be from motion capture, and because they just toss the ball up, the head will just be looking straight at the goal.
Yeah.
And they were saying how so there was a few occasions where they said, look, this does look a bit weird. So they showed Ozil just not looking at the ball and it just magically connecting with his foot. And then they said they kind of admitted that last year players couldn't look up.
Dogs.
Except for when they do the oh no, something's gone wrong and they look at the sky, they never look up. So now they've got head tracking. So they showed then a new version, and Ozil was he looked at the ball right onto his foot, and then the keeper made a save and he looked at it after that as well.
Right.
And it's something you barely perceive probably from the main camera angle.
Yes.
But once you saw the two of them together, you're we cannot now go back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. These are the little things that make a sort of imperceptible difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
Does that mean less fun in the replays though? I'm going to have less fun of zooming right into players' faces.
Rob is. That's basically what Rob spends most of his time doing when we play FIFA. But yeah, no, I last year, I'll be honest, I've enjoyed playing FIFA this year because I think that because the online game is, I prefer it slightly to pairs. You guys play pairs a lot in the office, and I didn't really see. I thought that a lot of the new additions last year had been. I just didn't see them. Like, it's released every year, and obviously they're not going to be huge changes. Yeah. But I thought there wasn't enough for me last year, and I was a bit frustrated. And so I was really pleased. I mean, it will change again from what I've played. Yeah. But it's like I was like, oh my god, they've addressed. Like, it feels so different. I was rubbish. I couldn't score. I scored about 3 goals. In about 2 or 3 hours of playing. But just playing through the midfield and the extra precision in the game, I was like, oh, it actually feels like a different and improved game.
That's good.
This is interesting.
You've spoken and we've listened.
Yeah. No, I thought you were talking to me then.
I mean, we have spoken too.
So we're going to have, we're at E3 now, as we speak then. Yeah. Even though currently we're not. No. But when this video comes out, we're going to be at E3. We're going to have so many videos on the channel. We have, just before we recorded this video, I took a call from a guy, just lining up some amazing coverage. Sure. And we've been doing that all over town. Yeah, so we're going to have, basically, think of a big game at E3, everyone. Yeah, it's going to be on the channel.
No way.
Probably.
Yeah. It's on PlayStation, right?
Yeah. So stick with us for that, for the next couple of weeks, really, but certainly while we're out of the show, especially. Subscribe to us. We deserve that. Like this video, because this video told you all about FIFA. And let us know in the comments what else. I mean, if you've got any questions just about what I played of FIFA 16, I'll be happy to kind of dip through the comments and see if I can answer them. Just let me know everything, and we will see you soon.